Today, we're going to dive into something that's, deeply personal, but also incredibly powerful. How to actually craft your own personal philosophy. And this isn't just some abstract academic exercise. Nope. This is about building a real, practical guide for a more intentional life.
Does life ever feel, well, like this? Kind of like you're in a sea of endless choices, you're getting conflicting advice from everywhere, and there's just this nagging sense that you're drifting? If you've ever felt overwhelmed or maybe just a little unsure of your direction, trust me, you are definitely not alone. But the good news is there's a tool to help you navigate all of it.
In that tool, it's your personal philosophy. The best way to think about it is like your own internal compass. It's this unique set of beliefs and values that you define for yourself. And this isn't just about feeling good. It's about building real resilience and cutting through all that decision fatigue. This compass points towards your true north, helping you take actions that are genuinely authentic to who you are.
So how do you actually build this compass? I mean, what's it really made of? Let's break down the core components, the building blocks.
Okay, so every strong personal philosophy is really built on three key pillars: your values, your beliefs, and your principles. Getting a handle on these three is pretty much the first step to crafting a life with real purpose. So let's take a look at each one.
First up, we've got values. Now, these are the fundamental things that you just deem important. Think about words like honesty or creativity, freedom, community, maybe knowledge. What truly deep down matters to you at your core? This is the bedrock of your philosophy.
All right, next are your beliefs. These are the truths you hold about how the world works, about human nature, and about your own place in the grand scheme of things. For example, do you believe people are fundamentally good? Do you think life has an inherent meaning? Your answers to questions like these are what shape your entire worldview. And finally, we have principles. These are the actionable rules you actually live by. And here's the crucial part. Principles flow directly from your values and your beliefs. So if you value knowledge, a principle might be always try to learn something new. If you believe in compassion, a principle could be always try to treat others with kindness. See? They'll turn your philosophy into action.
Okay, so now that we know the components, it's time to head into the workshop. This is the active part, right? This is where you actually start to forge your own compass. It's a creative and, a deeply personal process.
And you know what? The process is probably simpler than you might think. It really just boils down to two key steps. First, you look inward, through self-reflection. And then, you look outward by exploring all sorts of different perspectives.
First up is self-reflection, and this is where you got to get really honest with yourself. It's about setting aside some quiet time to ask some pretty big questions and to truly understand what makes you tick. So let's start with the first one.
So maybe grab a journal or just find a quiet space for a minute and ask yourself this. What qualities do you genuinely admire, both in yourself and in other people? Your answers here, they're like giant clues, pointing directly to your core values.
Now, let's dig a little bit deeper. What are your core beliefs about life, about purpose, about people? And how do those beliefs influence the choices you make every single day? Don't worry about having perfect answers right now. Just explore the ideas.
And think about your role models for a second. Who do you look up to? But more importantly, why? Is it their integrity, their creativity, maybe their resilience? The things you admire in them are often a direct reflection of the philosophy you want to live by.
Okay, so after looking inward, it's time to look outward. You can seriously enrich your own philosophy by exploring what other people think. Read widely, philosophy, ethics, different spiritual texts. Talk to people from different backgrounds. The goal here isn't to copy someone else, but to challenge your own assumptions and really refine your perspective.
Look, a philosophy isn't meant to just sit on a shelf and collect dust. It's a tool you're supposed to use. So let's talk about how you can put your compass into practice every single day.
Let's make this super concrete with an example of how this all connects. Let's say your core values are learning and compassion. Your belief might be that everyone has potential. Well, from that, your principles become things like embrace challenges and be kind. You see that? It's a clear line, flowing logically from one to the next. That's what creates a coherent system for living.
And this is where you really see the payoff. Your philosophy becomes the framework for, everything. It guides your big decisions, helps you set meaningful goals, it shapes your relationships, and it gives you this incredible reserve of strength when you face those inevitable challenges life throws at you.
And here is something that is absolutely crucial to remember. Your philosophy is not set in stone. It's meant to be a living document that should grow and evolve right along with you.
Ultimately, there is no one-size-fits-all answer here. This is your personal journey to build your unique compass. There are no right or wrong philosophies. There's only the one that is true for you.
So to really get you started on that journey, I want to end by reflecting on a few powerful questions. Just let these really sink in. First one, what truly brings meaning to your life?
Beyond what you do, who do you want to be? When you look ahead, what kind of person do you really truly want to become?
What are your lines in the sand? Think about it. What principles are absolutely non-negotiable for you?
And let's think a little bigger. What kind of impact do you want to have on the world around you?
The answers to these questions, that's the beginning of your map. They are the foundation of your guide. So, the only question left is, what will your compass point to?